Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL news cycle lately, you know that the Washington Commanders are sitting in a very interesting spot this offseason. And I'm not talking about just the usual roster tweaks or draft picks. No, this is about something that could really shake up their future, especially in the NFC East. And it revolves around one of their key players, a guy who's become one of the most dynamic and reliable receivers in the league, Terry Mclaurin. Anyone who's followed the Commanders over the past few seasons knows just how vital Mclaurin has been to this team's offense. He's not just a guy who catches passes, he's a leader, a symbol of this franchise's resilience, and someone fans have grown to love. But right now, despite his loyalty and his desire to stay in Washington, things aren't looking entirely smooth when it comes to his contract situation. Let's dive into what's really happening here. Terry Mclaurin, who's entering the final year of his current deal, has been pretty vocal, and it's not good news for the team's front office. He's expressed frustration about the pace of negotiations, and it's clear that he's feeling a little disheartened about how things have been progressing. Imagine that, a guy who's given so much to the franchise, who's been a cornerstone for years, feeling like he's being left in the dark. That's exactly what Mclaurin has said in recent interviews. He's been pretty direct, telling reporters and fans alike that he's frustrated with the lack of movement, with the silence from the team, and the fact that they haven't had meaningful discussions in over a month. And for someone who's just finished a career year, that's a tough pill to swallow. Mclaurin made it clear that he wants to stay in Washington. He's created his life there, become part of the community, and clearly has no desire to leave. But at the same time, he's also making it known that he needs the team to step up and meet his expectations. And when I say expectations, I mean a fair deal, something that reflects his contribution on the field, especially after his standout 2024 season, when he caught 82 passes for over 190 yards and scored a career-high 13 touchdowns. Those are elite numbers, folks, and they're not just stats, they're a testament to his consistency, his route running, his ability to make big plays when the team needs him most. Mclaurin has now gone 5 straight seasons with at least 77 catches and over 10 yards. That's Hall of Fame caliber consistency. And yet, despite all that, the team has yet to show any real urgency in extending his contract. Now, to understand just how critical Mclaurin is to Washington's offense, you have to look at the bigger picture. The Commanders, since their rebranding and the arrival of head coach Ron Rivera, have been trying to find their identity. They've had ups and downs, but what's remained clear is that Mclaurin has been a bright spot, a guy who can stretch defenses, who can be a reliable target in clutch moments. His rapport with quarterback Sam Howell in recent seasons has only grown stronger, and he's been instrumental in helping the team develop a more explosive passing game. For a team that's still building around its young talent, losing a player like Mclaurin would be a huge blow, not just on the field, but in terms of leadership and locker room presence. But here's where things get really interesting. Word is that the Commanders have not had any meaningful discussions with Mclaurin in over a month. That's right, more than 30 days without any real negotiation or dialogue. And that's a red flag for fans and analysts alike. When a player of Mclaurin's caliber is in the final year of his contract and feels ignored, it can lead to some serious consequences. You've seen it before: holdouts, missed practices, tension in the locker room. And Mclaurin himself has hinted that if things don't change, he might consider sitting out. That's a move that could impact the team's offensive rhythm and, frankly, its morale heading into the season. Now, why is this happening? Well, the NFL is a business, and negotiations are often complex. The Commanders are trying to manage their salary cap, plan for the future, and stay competitive. But the question is, are they undervaluing Mclaurin, or is he asking for too much? The truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. But what's undeniable is that Mclaurin feels disrespected right now, and that's not a good place to be with training camp just around the corner. The fans are watching, the team's leadership is aware, and the NFL world is buzzing. Usually, when a star player starts voicing frustrations publicly, it's a sign that the situation could escalate unless both sides come to an agreement soon. And let's not forget, Mclaurin is just 29 years old. He's in the prime of his career, and this final year of his deal is a critical juncture. The team has a choice to make. Do they prioritize keeping this talented receiver happy, or risk losing him for nothing in free agency? Because if negotiations break down completely, and he decides to sit out or demand a trade, the Commanders could find themselves in a very tough spot. And that's why this story is so crucial right now. It's not just about one player's contract, it's about the direction of the franchise moving forward. Will they do right by Mclaurin? Will they recognize his value and lock him up long-term? Or will they gamble that they can replace him somehow, which honestly would be a mistake? Looking ahead, the 2025 season is shaping up to be a pivotal year for Washington. The team has invested heavily in young talent, and there's a lot of optimism among the fanbase about what Sam Howell can do as the starting quarterback. Howell showed flashes of brilliance last season, and with a solid offensive line and some key additions in the draft, the offense could take a big step forward. But all of that hinges on continuity, on keeping your playmakers happy and healthy. Losing Mclaurin would be a huge setback, not only because of his production but because of his leadership. The locker room needs someone who sets the tone, who works tirelessly in practice, and who's respected by teammates. Mclaurin checks all those boxes. So, what's next? Well, it's clear that the Commanders need to act quickly. If they want to keep Mclaurin happy, they need to show some urgency and get negotiations back on track. The longer this drags on, the more likely it is that we might see him sitting out, which would be a major story in the NFL landscape. For fans of the Commanders, this situation is a roller coaster. One moment, it seems like a deal will get done, and the next, doubts creep in. But if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that Mclaurin's talent is undeniable, and the team needs him to succeed. This whole saga also raises questions about how the Commanders are managing their cap space and their long-term planning. Are they trying to save money now, hoping to lock him up later, or are they undervaluing what he brings to the table? These are questions that only time will answer. Meanwhile, fans are left wondering, will Mclaurin stick around and continue to be the face of this franchise? Or will he seek greener pastures elsewhere? The NFL is unpredictable, and given the current climate, it's more important than ever for the Commanders to show they value their stars. In the bigger picture, this isn't just about one receiver's contract. It's about the identity of the team, its future leadership, and its ability to compete at the highest level. If they manage to keep Mclaurin happy, it sends a message that the Commanders are serious about building around their homegrown talent. If not, it could signal a shift in how they handle negotiations and player relationships moving forward. Either way, it's a story that's going to develop in the coming weeks, and as fans, we need to stay tuned. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all of this? Do you think Mclaurin will stay or will he demand a trade? Are the Commanders making a mistake by not prioritizing this deal? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of this team. I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. This is a team with a lot of potential, but right now, the focus is on what happens with Mclaurin, and it could very well define their trajectory for the upcoming season and beyond. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Commanders!